And I'll ask Ms. Stone to call the roll. Here.
Here. Here.
First order of business, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of September 22nd, 2022.
Motion to approve September 22nd minutes.
I'll ask staff to call the roll. Yes. Next thing on our agenda is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to make any comments to this committee?
There. Great. Okay. First, I'd like to say, Forest Preserve, great job. That's a beautiful path going down Munger. And what a video, John. Looking good. Thank you. And with the bike plan that's coming now, there are so many opportunities, and I'm glad that you've already jumped on top of them. In fact, in 2027, in just 4 short years, when that Stearns Road path connects the community center to the nature center, Bartlett's population is going to double. In 4 years, the population of Bartlett is going to double because of 40,000 trail travelers coming to Bartlett as the oasis of the Tri-County area. We're going to have so many visitors. And the restaurants better be ready. Twice as many hot dogs, twice as many tacos, twice as many hamburgers. And the sales tax, well, might bump up just a little bit to help with it. But 40,000 visitors, because this Stearns Path is going to connect us to the Prairie Path. Travelers, 40,000 of them go right up that trail. The Fox River Trail, it has 100,000 going up the trail, and it's going to bridge over to the North Central DuPage Regional Trail and the West Branch Trail. So a lot of travelers, so let's get ready. And what we can do is, as a bike run committee, you can put up map boards at all the gateways to let the trail travelers know, hey, Bartlett's just a couple miles this way, and there's plenty to eat. So that's a good thing. 2023 is going to be a good year. So congratulations on all your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Witt. There's no one else. We will go to old business and new business. First one on the agenda is the DuPage Forest Preserve District update.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jessica Ortega, Manager of Strategic Plans and Initiatives for the Forest Preserve at DuPage County. And I really don't have an update today. As Mr. Witt mentioned, the trail along Munger Road is complete. And thanks for all the partnership on that project. Beyond that, our West Branch Trail project connecting Blackwell and West DuPage Woods is getting closer to commencing construction. So we're looking forward to that. Probably starting end of this year. So looking forward to all those new connections that'll be coming forward there. And other than that, I have no other comments for you today.
Is that the bridge over 38? That's the?
That's right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Great. They're starting construction this year.
That's what we're hoping.
Wow, awesome. What about the completing the loop at Pratt Wayne?
Yeah, I don't have an update on that one either. I believe we're still waiting for the money to actually come through from the state. It's been awarded, but it's not actually in hand at this point.
Oh, so the grant has been awarded?
I believe that. Well, we've been notified that it was awarded, but until the final things come through, we'd like to see that first.
Fantastic, and I'll speak on behalf of the committee that thank you again for the Munger Trail. As Terry said too, it's fantastic. I can't tell you how many people have said they enjoy it, that it's connecting them now to everything, so
That's great to hear.
thank you. Yep.
Thank you. The next thing is the Park District update.
Good afternoon, Kim Dasbach, Bartlett Park District. At this time, we do not have a report. If there's any questions, we can take them. Otherwise, we're good.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. The next thing is the bicycle and pedestrian plan update.
As recommended by this committee, the village board did pass a resolution adopting the Bartlett and Streamwood Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan. Just back in November, we have already started incorporating some of those planned bike paths in the upcoming capital budgets. So you will be seeing the construction of the bike path on Munger Road that will connect from Brewster Creek down to Stearns Road. That was a connection that was not on any of our previous plans, so we're really moving forward with that quickly. And then they will also be doing it from Stearns to Munger Road as well. And there will be the crosswalk improvements at Munger and West Bartlett Road, which was one of those connections that, because of dealing with Cook County, that connection never went through. We're incorporating that into the plan as well. D.R. Horton, with the closing of the Grassland subdivision, they've purchased both the properties for Phase 1 and Phase 2, so they'll be working on the bike path on Naperville Road, a sidewalk on the north side of West Bartlett Road, and then a path that will go through the Grassland subdivision. They've submitted plans to IDOT for the crossing underneath Route 59, parallel to the railroad tracks. And then the Forest Preserve, DuPage County Department of Transportation has put out an RFP for the bike path concept for West Stearns Road, connecting from Munger Road to the county line, which has been on the plans for the 20 years that I've been here. So it's exciting to see that come to fruition. I wish everyone realized plans take a long time to actually be able to put everything in place, but it's exciting to see a connection that was so popular moving forward. If anyone has any questions on any of those projects?
Yeah, D.R. Horton, I'm excited to see them putting stuff in. I'm less excited reading 2026. I know you're kind of limited based upon completion and stuff, but you've got a couple whole subdivisions that are pretty much landlocked unless they want to go out Spalding Road the back way, which isn't a treat either. Wondering out loud here if there can have some discussions on the Naperville Road portion, perhaps, so that you get people able to connect to the bike path along West Bartlett Road in the interim while we wait for 2026 to arrive.
So those are like the worst case dates. That's in the public improvement completion agreement. So they get several years to do all the public improvements. We've often had developments that finish their improvements well before the dates that are in there. So that's worst case scenario, that's when it would occur.
Well, I'd ask whatever discussions you have if they can maybe think about that portion, because like I said, the option is to ride along Naperville Road, which isn't a treat in a car, let alone on a bicycle. You have to kind of plan your travels for certain times of the day. You can't do it at 7 in the morning, you can't do it at 5 at night, obviously.
Okay.
You're talking about like from 20 to West Bartlett Road? The path from 20 to West Bartlett?
Yeah, it's going to be done in bits and pieces as it looks. I mean, you've got a That can be, yeah, if it can be continued down to the tracks, that gets you down to a 150-foot portion to get you to Spalding Road, which is where most of the people live.
Yeah.
People can get to Spalding through any of the back roads, but the problem getting down to West Bartlett Road is you have to go out Spalding Road, which is heavily trafficked with trucks and cars sometimes. It's not the best grade, and come down the bike path to West Bartlett Road back, which is fine if you have the time, not so fine if your time constraint, you say, take a bike or can I, maybe I'll just drive today. I think that's what ultimately we're looking to replace car trips with bike trips.
I know we have a meeting set up with our county commissioner, and I know along Naperville Road, that's a county road and county easements. Could we add that to the list of things to ask him about, improving the bike paths along Naperville Road?
Yes.
You had a conversation with the county commissioner?
I personally didn't, but I think staff,
Staff is meeting with them, administrative staff, and I believe Public Works is having a meeting.
it,
I know there's been, the village has asked for traffic counts there, on traffic lights. You'll probably get a better response. I did talk to a staff member at a public meeting. I was more or less scoffed at when I asked about the possibility of traffic signal at that intersection. Now, it doesn't meet the warrants, for cross-traffic and such, but, back when we did that exercise with DuPage County in years past, I could give them examples of intersections that sort of county complexes that, didn't meet those warrants either. And that's how we got the light down by the, library, south part of the road.
yeah, I think most of our conversations have to do with truck traffic and the speed limit on Naperville Road.
I don't turn left out of there because it's not safe. I'll make I'll make 3 right turns, or I'll do that. But not everybody is conservative driver and they take chances. And I'm not gonna do that if somebody has to die or because it doesn't get you anywhere. Perhaps you can persuade them in other ways.
Any other comments?
Sure, I've got a few, actually. So the number one on this project list, the Munger Road from Brewster Creek to Stearns. What is the likelihood of extending that north up to that, there's like a trail that nobody uses?
That is all going to be connected.
Oh, that is, okay.
Well, yes.
Okay, and then the loop, the Brewster Creek Boulevard, there's a path there now. It's in bad shape. Is that being replaced just because the condition? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's existing is being resurfaced, and then they're going to continue that to Munger Road.
Continue to.
Because right now it stops just short. There's one lot where the old gravel
Oh, yeah.
line was, so it stops.
Yeah, okay. And then, so as I've always said, that the islands without bike paths are Villa Olivia, the subdivision there, which I think we're starting to address now with the Naperville Road. What about the railroad crossing there?
So they will be putting in, as part of the development plan, they're putting in the bike path. It's going to be an at-grade crossing. Metra says it does not meet the warrants to have the gates
Okay,
at the crossing, but there will be a crossing as part of the grassland subdivision.
fantastic. That's all the questions. Oh, and I guess how, does this couple in with the next page? I think it does, the bike plan maintenance updates. Yeah, I think those are all in there. That's like the Newports.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay. I don't want to jump ahead, but, sorry.
You can jump ahead right now. So we'll move on to the bike path maintenance update.
Yeah, so as requested last time, we took a look at the maintenance plan that was provided before, and this is more for the paths that are already built and just for maintenance purposes. So we looked at it, we looked at basically our new approach that we've been doing. Instead of the in-house crews haven't been doing as much patching. It's been mostly, we found it's more cost-effective just to resurface the path, just start at one and just go from there. So with that in mind, kind of took the new approach of, okay, this is all the paths we have currently, and this is where, if a contractor were to do it, we took a cost based off our most recent and did a cost estimate for if we had a contractor come in and do all these paths, which equaled out to about $4.8 million. So that's a lot of path. But with that, some of our planned things coming up in the next year, we're gonna resurface South Bartlett Trail from the horse farm to the library. A contractor's gonna do that. We're working on that now. We're gonna continue to resurface Newport Trail. We just got up to Coral this past summer. Our goal is to resurface 2,500 feet, linear feet of path in the upcoming year. We already touched on the Brewster Creek paths. And then we're still gonna do the pavement preservation. The company that has been doing that for us for our roads, they're able to do that for bike paths now. I mentioned it in the past. So there's a time frame you can do that, and it helps. The best analogy I've heard is it's kind of like sunscreen for your paths. It keeps the moisture locked in. They don't get as brittle as quick. So they should last quite a few years longer. And then we're going to use our striping contractor, and we'll probably add any recommended and striped and signed paths like Spalding Road. I know that one was in the plan, so we'll look at that. And others as recommended. So if there's any questions on that?
So that, the whole Brewster Creek thing, if I'm reading this right on the spreadsheet on the last page, it says the developer, is that the D.R. Horton that's building the subdivision, is going to also do Brewster Creek? The business park?
No, it's Elmhurst Chicago Stone.
Yeah.
Was the developer of Brewster Creek Industrial Park.
Gotcha. And they're going to redo all that, huh?
I think we're using TIF funds.
It's using TIF funds.
Okay.
So some of it is TIF funds, some of it was
Okay.
their responsibility as well as the developer.
Great.
So to get a better bang for our buck, we're like, all right, all of it needs done anyway. Let's lump it together.
No, these are fantastic additions, everything, the additions and then just the maintenance too.
Could we go to the village board and request some additional funds to maybe knock out some additional projects? And maybe also go to the park district and see, I know funds are always tight, but maybe ask the park district to maybe increase some of their contributions this year to try to improve on what we've already done. I think now that we have the bike and run plan, I think just to kind of build on this momentum that I feel that we have going on. I mean, the worst they can say is no to us, but I know we have a lot of things in the works with the park district, so maybe they might be a little generous this year, I don't know.
We have been meeting with them and going over like the South Bartlett Trail. They're going to help with that. That one's going to be a little higher.
Okay.
Exact, I'm not sure, but.
Nice. And then also, I mean, with some of these improvements, could we maybe, in the BART letter, maybe put some of the things in the BART letter of what we have planned and what's coming up? I think the residents would be really pleased to know what we're up to here, so. Any other questions?
Just some comments about what Mr. Wood was saying earlier about connecting the community center to the Tri-State Park. That's going to require a bridge. No?
Where?
Straight down Stearns. Okay, I see what you're saying.
When that trail was put in from State Park all the way to Fox River, it took forever to get the railroad to put a crossing. So when you got to the crossing, you went over to the shoulder, crossed
Yeah.
the tracks, and then went back over the grass to get up the trail on the other side. crossing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that might have to be how it's done initially. Is it, you get up the tracks and maybe we put some concrete barriers about 40 feet before you get to the railroad track, so cars kind of know, hey, don't go over on the shoulder within 40 feet
Yeah.
of this track, because there's going to be bicycle paths.
Okay. So does the RFP, does it include the railroad crossing, or is that
It would have to incorporate that.
somehow, like either
Somehow.
with a barrier like Terry's saying, or?
Right, so this was just a request for proposals, so it's not quite engineering at this point, it's to get the engineering done. So,
Okay.
it include Phase 1 and Phase 2 engineering.
Another hiccup, if I recall correctly, when they engineered 59 and Stearns Road, ultimately that's where it's going to cross, coming back east. I think the walk light is only on the south side of the, I don't know that they actually have a crosswalk on the north side of Stearns crossing 59. I haven't looked at it lately, but that's my recollection.
I'll have to check, because I thought there was one on the north side as well, because DuPage County has a bike trail already on the north side of Stearns by the Walgreens.
Yeah, I could be, yeah, I'll take another look at it, but that was what I think I recall, because we had a discussion of some sort about it. Terry was on the board at that time, and engineering was done at that point.
There is a button now.
There is a button? Is there curb cuts?
Yes.
Okay, well, they,
And 88.
okay. Never mind, I'll let you know.
Striping might not have been there, as if you recall, the striping took a long time and several attempts before it was done correctly.
Okay.
That intersection.
Thank you.
If I could reserve one more comment about that crossing, it's time to eliminate right turns on the red and crossover path, because that's the most dangerous spot for anybody getting across the line. Somebody on Stern doing that slip lane, because they're not going to make up red, a green arrow, green turn arrow to be able to be red when the crosswalk is lit.
That's a question for the state, right?
Yeah, we can contact you.
Okay, and then also to piggyback on Mr. Hopkins' comments about the allocating more funds. So, now that we're kind of coupled in with the plan with Streamwood, Streamwood is building a bridge over 59, and they've planned for this for years. I don't know, Terry, if it's been 5 or 10 years, they've been allocating money for this.
Yeah, they've got $4 of the $6 million guaranteed in grants.
Okay. But didn't they also put money aside from a village perspective too, or is it just all grants? Okay.
They were feeling pretty confident about getting that last $2 million in grants.
Okay.
They were ready to go.
Okay, just because, that's a significant, that's a huge project, but it's going to connect East and West Streamwood. I don't know that Bartlett needs something that big, but I'm just
Where's it crossing at?
just north of Irving Park Road.
Oh, nice.
It's a beautiful bridge, designed, it's fantastic.
I think connecting the underpass, under 59,
Under,
I think that's going to accomplish a lot. I know it's not on the south end of town, though, so.
Yep. Well, to my other point about the islands that don't have bike paths is Westridge. Right?
Yeah.
So Westridge is the other one that we got to cross those railroad tracks. And the Naperville Road bridges, that's fantastic. We have one more to go, in my opinion, so.
We can dive into that minutia all day, crossing Route 25 by the Shell gas station. If you
Oh, yeah.
hit the end of the sidewalk, you gotta walk your bike through the grass to the crossing.
yes, it's the joy of working with IDOT.
Can we put a path in a different spot? Maybe not right at the intersection, like farther to the north on 25?
Typically, IDOT does not want crossings that are at grade unless they're at a signalized light. So with the developments that are occurring in South Elgin, if there was potential for a light, I could see us wanting to put in a bike path that would run east or west along Route 25 to get over.
Yeah. What's the next intersection that has a light north on 25 from West Bartlett.
I'm not sure if they're having to put one in with, it'd be Kenyon or Slade.
Okay.
On the village side.
Kenyon, yeah.
Kenyon, yeah,
You can slide through that little,
The industrial park?
yeah.
from West Bartlett, over to Kenyon and get to the high school.
Yeah.
It might be something we have to look at so that there's a little jog.
Yeah.
I mean, hindsight's 2020, but all that construction they're doing right there on that corner, we couldn't have had them allocate any money to put a crosswalk in?
We had a developer that offered to pay a portion of it, and IDOT said, we're not ready to do anything going forward.
Wasn't there utility issues?
There's utility, there's a gas line that runs through that that's not as deep. Yeah.
It sounds simple, but I guess it's pretty complex.
Yes, yes, it's really easy for us to draw things on a map and say,
Yeah.
this makes perfect sense. Sometimes
Yeah.
there's some factors that go into it.
Yeah, I want to say a young gentleman in Bartlett had a GoFundMe, not a GoFundMe page, but a petition going, and we talked about it several times at the board level, and it's gone nowhere. And, I mean, that would be pretty convenient to have that connection right there.
And that's
Things
from a
motivate
safety
IDOT.
perspective.
Yeah.
From a safety perspective. I see kids running across that intersection.
There's some people want to believe that if they don't stripe it or put a sidewalk there, people aren't going to go that way.
No.
They'll go the closest direction between 2 points.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with that extension or that path that the one Girl Scout was proposing along 59, just north of Schick, to connect to, I think it's Gulfstream?
To Gulfstream, that's kind of been put on hold. I mean, it's
IDOT again, or?
It's IDOT right-of-way. It's not within the village. At one point, the property owner had contacted staff to discuss annexing in. We had talked at that point that we'd make them put in the bike path as part of the development, but no plans have ever been submitted.
Okay.
Is there a separate representative from IDOT who deals with bike paths? And could we have the gentleman maybe come to our meeting?
We could try.
I know it's a long
It
shot,
doesn't-
but
Honestly, IDOT is, I don't know that they're that
Yeah.
specified. I feel like you're kind of assigned one of the districts, and
yeah,
the communication that does not occur in that department sometimes is amazing. So, like, we've had to tell them that they've issued permits for projects.
yeah.
And they have not known of it, and then we show it to them, and, oh, I didn't know that was happening. It
It's pretty remarkable.
is.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
We're under maintenance, I guess, still this would apply. Gifford Road bike path, along the east side of, what is that, Aaron's Landing? The road work per se is in the city of Elgin, and they did quite a bit. I think you might want to inspect that path if you haven't already. There's some poor replacement of the bike path where they had to dig it out. It looks like gravel mixed with plaster of Paris, something like that. The quality's not there, so, and I don't think they're gonna do it right without some rotting.
Are you talking about where the quiet zone kind of is?
No, the path itself, they're doing some kind of water or sewer pipes out there, and they had to dig up portions in the city of Elgin, but some of it dribbled over onto the Bartlett side and the easement where they had to cut it.
Yeah, we've made note of it. They were doing a water main extension. And, yeah, we're definitely gonna keep an eye on it, because we agree it's definitely not, especially after just doing the roads out there. It was would've been nice if we were notified of it, but
Any other questions? Then we will move on to the bicycle-friendly community discussion.
So, with our bike and pedestrian plan passed and kind of all the improvements that we've been making really good progress on, Christie and I and the city staff have kind of determined that we're kind of in a good place to try to think about submitting an application to the League of American Bicyclists for a bicycle-friendly community designation. This is a nationwide designation. About 1,000 communities have a has a designation with this organization. It's a organization that once you kind of start communicating with them, they provide feedback and resources and kind of expertise into kind of upgrading facilities, improving plans, and giving advice and kind of putting your name on the map a little bit. And so, they also have kind of a formal designation and kind of award ceremony. You get a fun sign that you can put on your road or your city hall. And so there's a lot of kind of benefits to kind of a recognition of the work that we've been doing. To give you an example, our neighboring communities, these all have bronze designations. This is Schaumburg, Batavia, Warrenville, and Aurora. And so they all have bronze designations. We think we are in a place to also get a bronze designation. And as part of this kind of application, they want you to kind of incorporate some other activities into the community. And so there's clubs that are located near us, the Chicago Area Tandem Society. So we might reach out to them and see if they're interested in kind of adding any statements. And there's also the Spin Doctor Cycle Works business here in Bartlett. They also have a gold designation from the League of American Cyclists. So they're highly regarded by this organization. I have a copy of kind of an application preview, is what they call it, which is kind of the forms that we will be filling out as staff. If you think this is a worthy cause for us to pursue and to put resources behind, we can go ahead through that. And so I'll have those. I'll distribute those out to you after this meeting so that you guys can have a review of it.
Yeah. Any questions from the committee?
I don't see why we wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what we think. It's a.
Yeah.
What do you think we can do to help?
What's the,
Helps. The fact that we have a plan now helps. It would have been really hard to do this going forward when our plan was from the 1990s and there weren't even many of the subdivisions that we currently have. So I think we'll start sending these out to you, and if there's any of the questions that they have, any feedback that you want to give us, any examples of things, people you want us to reach out to, any organizations you think we should reach out to.
Yeah.
We'd really appreciate your feedback.
what's the cost?
Staff time.
If that's all it is, get to work. No.
So we were planning on hitting the fall application window. The most current application window was February 15th. So it seems like a pretty short headwind on that one. And so we're going to try to aim for the fall, which I believe is in August.
You named some other, or some of the other communities that have this designation. Can you name those again?
Oh, okay, thank you. Schaumburg, Batavia, Warrenville, and Aurora.
Okay. Is there any others, or is that?
Those are
really
the
it in
ones
this
that
area?
are the closest to us. I think there's 4 other 5 and kind of in the Chicagoland area.
Okay.
But I think there's only 11 communities in the state of Illinois.
Wow.
That's a good question. That's something we'll have to keep talking about. And so that's as part of this application, they kind of ask you, do you have any kind of community outreach events and kind of working with other businesses to kind of promote cycling within the community. And so that's and we might not have to reach a lot of those events to get a kind of a bronze level, but if we want to go higher to a silver gold, that's the kind of things you have to start incorporating into this to kind of bring into kind of a more comprehensive cycling culture.
Yeah, in that packet does it lay out what you need for silver and gold and things of that nature?
Yeah, so they have like a point system, and so you'll go through here, and you'll kind of check off what we do have, what we don't have, and then you kind of label, and you kind of do your accumulated points.
Yeah.
How they determine that.
Nice. Yeah.
And of course, with all you can't say, yes, of course we do, community bike ride, events. You got to have some
Yeah.
through.
Any other questions?
When is National Bike to Work, Bike to School Day? Terry, do you know when that is? That's usually in May.
Yeah, it is in May.
Okay, maybe we can coordinate something with that to use on the application in fall.
Yeah, to get it in May, that's a pretty short timeline, and so that we would,
Yeah, it's National Bike Month.
Yeah,
One of those Wednesdays in May.
okay.
Maybe we can add that to the Bartlett also.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, don't we always have a proclamation for that?
Yes.
So that's,
2011? All right. Anything else? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
second?
I'll ask staff to call the roll.
Adam Hopkins,
Yes.
Dan Palmer, John Goetz.
Yes.